Arlene here. Welcome back to my Country Craft Corner and Arlene's Travels. How in the world are you guys doing today? It is so good to see you again, and thank you so much for stopping back by to see what I'm up to. And what I'm up to today is to do a little video about our traveling to the hotel, our day at the hotel, and then our one night at the hotel, and then embarkation day here onto the Coral Princess. I'm going to walk you through the whole process so that those of you who have never done this before will kind of have an idea of what to expect. So I am currently sitting on board the beautiful Coral Princess. Princess Cruises is the line that we normally cruise with and love. And this is our all-time favorite ship. This is literally the 6th time that we've been on this ship. The previous 5 times we're all in Alaska, cruising to Alaska, and we will again be cruising to Alaska on the beautiful Coral. So if I had to choose any ship out of the fleet, the Princess fleet, it would be the Coral Princess every time. She is without a doubt my very favorite. She is the smallest ship in the fleet right now, and maybe that's why I like her. She was made more narrow to her and her sister ship, the Island Princess, they were made to go through the Panama Canal. Anyway, I'm not going to ramble on about that. I want to, let's see, the last video stopped as we were landing in Fort Lauderdale. And I had in my folder, I always take a folder like this. And you can see there, I have it labeled. Panama Canal, California Coastal, what did I say on there? Pacific Wine Country is what it's called, which is a California Coastal. And then Alaska, Coral Princess. And this holds all of our pertinent information. I always, yes, you can have it on your phone. You can have all of this information that I'm going to talk about on your phone. But not only do I have it on my phone, is I do have it in hard copy too. So in here is the keeper of many important papers. Our flights, our hotel, any rental cars that we have procured, and also our travel summary for on board the ship. So this is a very important little notebook or little folder for me. And as you can see, it has different folders in it. And I can link this in my Amazon shop for you. And you can see back here, that's our flights home that I have back in the back. And right now I'm holding, I will show you a princess pattern. Let me get the first one out here. And I will show this to you once we're on the ship. I'll show that. When I get to that part of the video, I'll show that to you. So anyway, this is a very important thing for me. I keep this in my backpack. I keep this with me at all times. So anyway, we landed in Fort Lauderdale. So I had the phone number at my fingertips. On my phone too. I could find it on my phone too. But I actually did have to pull this out because I couldn't find it quick enough on my phone for the phone number to call the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Fort Lauderdale, and they have a free airport shuttle. So I called them, and then they told us where to go to meet the shuttle. And so we flew in JetBlue, and we had to, which was a wonderful flight, by the way. There's a direct from Richmond down to Fort Lauderdale, which is the one we took. And it turned out that there was the third person in our row of 3 never showed up. So we got to spread out. So that was, so I was so relieved. But that was a seamless flight from Richmond to Fort Lauderdale. But anyway, when I called them, they said you need to take a right when you come out of baggage and go down to a certain area there at Fort Lauderdale Airport and wait for a white bus van, to come. And lo and behold, here he came. And this was the gentleman that took us on our ride from the airport over to the Holiday Inn Express and Suites. And he was a sweetheart. Very, very nice, very, very cordial, very kind and helpful. And we did tip him. We always tip any taxi drivers or shuttle drivers or things like that. We did tip him. I don't know how much because Chris tipped him and I did not see how much he tipped him. So, but we did tip him. And he helped us get the scooter in and out of the back of that. And I didn't take a picture of the van. I'm sorry. with everything else going on, I usually try to remember that, and I did not get a picture of the van. But anyway, he took us over to the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, and unfortunately our room was not ready. Well, we didn't think it would be. It was only like 10 o'clock in the morning when we went over there. And, you know, the guy behind the counter was so very nice. I did not get a picture of him, but he was very kind, and he said, probably around 12:30, 1:45, we can get you in. And I said, well, that'll work, you know. So we needed to go find, I had mentioned a Winn-Dixie. Well, there wasn't a Winn-Dixie. I don't know what happened to the Winn-Dixie, but the Winn-Dixie closed. So we really kind of went pretty far. Well, it wasn't that far, but it felt like pretty far. And I'll tell you a story about my scooter. But first of all, we went to Wendy's. We went to Wendy's after a little while, and when they started serving lunch. So we had to walk to Wendy's, and you have to walk so far because there's like a causeway, and I'm not sure that I would recommend this hotel if you want to be around a lot of food venues, because there really aren't very many around this hotel. But anyway, we went down the street and had to kind of go down and go on a crosswalk and then come back up to Wendy's. So we did that, and I had a hamburger, which was so fattening. But it's hard to diet. They did have salads, but I was so tired. Remember, I hadn't been to sleep since 7 o'clock the morning before, we did this trip. So I was pretty exhausted. I wasn't grumpy or anything. I was just like not all together, It's like, I don't know what I want. Oh, I'll have whatever he's having. And Chris got this like Baconator burger or something. It was huge. I ate about 3/4 of it and was like, I can't eat any more of this. This is terrible. I can feel my cholesterol going up as I ate that thing. Anyway, we asked one of the workers there if there was a Winn-Dixie and where it was, and she said no, it's no longer around, but there is a Walgreens down at the next light. And we said okay. So we went out of Wendy's and started going on down, and we saw some beautiful trees on our way, palm trees and live oak trees and a banyan tree. It was absolutely a beautiful little walk down the street, but it was quite a ways. Well, we finally got to the Walgreens, and we went in there, and we had not packed Tide Pods or Downy dryer sheets. So we got both of those things. They had the Tide behind a locked cabinet. So we had to call a worker over, and she opened that up. I'm like, I'm not even going to ask why. I didn't want to know why. Are we in a bad part of town? Why are they locking the Tide Pods up, Anyway, regardless, we got those, and then we picked up a couple of cans of Pringles, which we're still working on one of them here. I'm pretty proud of us that we have not scarfed that down. And we got, what else did we buy? I can't remember. Big thing of water for me. I drink a lot of water, and I don't particularly care to drink like hotel water or even the ship water here, just because it's too pure. So we have a drink package here, and I'll tell you more about that. But this is the drinking water that they have here on the ship, and I've been drinking probably 5 or 6 of these literally a day, and that's helping me, so to keep hydrated. I think they take too many of the yuckiness out of the water when they put it through their system here on the ship. Anyway, regardless, we started back to the hotel. By this time, we were probably a mile or so away, and my scooter can usually go 9 miles easily. We think something happened when we went to charge it before we left home, because my battery was dying on me. And Chris ended up pushing me and my scooter. I mean, it had a little power, but he pretty much had to push me back to the hotel. And then, for one thing, I'm no light thing. And for another thing, I mean, thank goodness he's hulky and he was able to do it. But I was just, are you kidding me? So we got it back, and we have not had one more problem with it. But I think that something happened with the charging before we left the house. So anyway, we got back to the hotel, and thankfully we had our charger with us, or Chris did in his backpack, and there was a place to plug in at the lobby there. So we just sat down in the lobby chit-chatting with whoever was around, you know, and plugged my scooter in, and it didn't take long to charge it up. And we sat there probably for another half an hour, 45 minutes until our room was ready. And then we were up on the, I want to say 6th floor. I didn't get the number, but it was one of their suites. Chris had procured us one of their suites, which was 2 queen-size beds. I'll show you some pictures here. 2 queen-size beds and then a couch. And it was nice. It was a lovely room, had a you know, microwave and a coffee maker, and the shower in this place was phenomenal. It was lovely, had a glass door that slid open and shut, and a nice big sink. It was very nice. We had a lovely evening there, watched TV and just relaxed, you know, and I think I was asleep by 8 o'clock, you guys, if that, if I made it that long. So all in all, it was a very nice hotel. You know, the next morning we got up very early, and I went ahead and showered and got dressed, and we went down for breakfast in the breakfast area down there. It was complimentary with your stay, and it was lovely little breakfast. Here's what I had on my plate. Can't remember. I know I had a piece of toast with peanut butter. I always like my protein. Don't care for the bread so much. I don't eat a lot of bread, but I did that morning, and had just spread peanut butter on it. I had a little bit of yogurt. Love the mixed Greek yogurt, you guys. That's one of my favorite things, is the Greek yogurt, and I love the strawberry flavored. Had that. And did I have a piece of whatever I have on my plate there? I can't remember what all I had, but, and a cup of tea and a cup of orange juice. And, you know, then we went back up to our room after we were finished eating and packed up everything. As you know, I only had that one cube that I had pulled out with my outfit of that day, which was, this is what I chose to wear for Embarkation Day, which is, if I remember right, a pair of black capris and a black t-shirt. Actually, this one like this, I have several of these black t-shirts, and my florally jacket that unfortunately I cannot give you a link for the jacket. I got it from Amazon, but they don't have it anymore. I might be able to link something similar in my Amazon box. You'll find the link for my Amazon storefront just to do with this cruise, and everything that I'm talking about during this cruise is going to be in that box. So I'll try to find something similar to that little jacket. It's a little bomber jacket with pockets. I'll try to link that for you. And then I had this necklace on. This is one of my staple necklaces, and I can't tell what earrings I had on, to tell you the truth. I might not have put earrings on because I knew I had to go through, you know, metal detector thing. And anyway, so we got dressed, went down and ate, and then came back up to our room to kind of wait for a little while. On my phone, I have the Lyft app on my phone, and I had made arrangements for an extra large Lyft to come and pick us up at 10 a.m. on Embarkation morning. I need an extra large. We need an extra large because of the scooter, and we took 4 suitcases. You can see them there parked in the room. We took 4 suitcases, as I had mentioned the other day. So we went down downstairs, and we got down and we looked out the door, and I'm like, and he said that he was going to be driving a black Escalade or Cadillac, something or another. And I said, and Chris said, well, that's what that is. And I was like, it is. And I said, well, this is, and we had his name, and we walked out and we said, are you so-and-so? And he said, yeah. And I said, wow, you're early. And he said, I would have waited. He might get there early, but they still wait until 5 minutes after the time you know, have procured. So anyway, we went ahead and filled up, Chris and him, he filled up the back of the SUV is what it was. And we climbed in, and he took us right on over to Port Everglades, which is where the Coral Princess was moored. And we got over there by about 10:01, 10:02, something like that, and got out, handed off our luggage to a porter, and tipped him. We tip him. I don't know how much Chris tipped him. Again, usually we do $5 a bag, so I'm not sure how much he tipped him, because again, he did the tipping, I did not. So we took off, and he pointed us in the right direction, and off we went. And all I had to do was, we just had to show our medallions, which is this, which is a little magic button that you get with Princess. It's called the medallion, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but it serves as our room key. It serves as how we pay for everything, because our credit card is attached to this. It doesn't become you know, live until you're on board the ship, you know, or when you get into the terminal, and you just have to scan it and show your passport. They ask you for your passport, and we definitely needed a passport for this because we are entering Canada in this cruise, you know, so you need a passport, not a birth certificate, not anything else, but a passport is absolutely necessary for this cruise. So we showed our passport, showed our medallion, and off we went, and we were put into a waiting area with the other scooters and walkers and everything. And we waited for probably, half an hour, 40 minutes, chatting with people and so on. You could see a picture. Here's a picture of the Coral Princess that I sat there and looked at out the window until it was time to board. And I may put up a little rolling video of silence because I'm just jabbering along at people as I go. But they told us, okay, it's time to board. You can go. And off we went, time to board, and went up the gangway and on to the Coral, and you scan your medallion again and you're on, and you're like, oh, thank goodness, we're finally here, we're on. And we were ready for our cruise, buddy. I tell you, we were ready. So this room was not ready. No rooms are ready when you first get on. Usually, since COVID, it's very rare. We haven't been on a cruise where the stateroom has been ready. I think they really do take time to deep clean the rooms and whatnot. So the room wasn't ready till about 1 o'clock. So we decided we were just going to kind of tour around the ship a little bit that day, and we were going to eat in the buffet. Usually we'll eat when we're with other people, we'll eat in the main dining room that's open for lunch. And I can tell you which dining room was open for lunch that day. Let me get my Princess Powder out here. Yes, Bordeaux was open from 12 to 1:30 on Embarkation Day. I'll show you this in a minute. And but we decided to go up to the buffet. So here I am riding through the buffet. Lovely little buffet. It's not huge by any stretch of the imagination, but the food is always hot and it's always good. And this buffet, the Horizon Buffet, sits on the front of the ship. So we went right up to the front and got ourselves a seat right as you're looking out the front of the ship. And that's where we love to eat our lunch. That's where we eat lunch every day, is in the Horizon Court Buffet. And we try to get a seat up front there, you know, and look out, and just the forward views are just stunning. You guys are just stunning. So we went up there for lunch and I had a salad and I don't know, a hot dog. They had a hot dog there and I had a hot dog. No bun. I took it off the bun. And what else did I have? But we did take a ride down the Lido deck. So I might just let my my voice play here as I show you this little video as we're okie dokie. We are on board the Coral Princess, and we are not going to go to a dining room for lunch. We're going to go to the buffet. So we are working our way to the front of the ship because we kind of boarded toward the aft. So we're just heading straight forward because the buffet is on the front of the ship. We decided not to go to a dining room today. So this is the Calypso pool. This is the indoor pool. The ceiling is supposed to retract. And this is the lovely Calypso Cove pool, I think, or Calypso, I can't remember. It's been a long time since we've been on here, but I think it's called the Calypso. And then we're gonna go through these doors and we're gonna go on out to, there's the ice cream bar. We're gonna go this way or that way? To the outside. And then we're gonna pass the outdoor pool. Here we come. It's a pretty empty ship so far because we just boarded first because of my scooter. And here we go. They've got it all set up with towels out here. So pretty. TV's up above my head, I think, back there. It's a hot tub. And this is the Lido deck, by the way. This is deck 14. I believe it's 14. Here's the other pool. Another hot tub. not sure if these doors open or not. Thank you so much. Thank you. We need to washy.
Yeah, washy.
Okay, we can do that. The buffet is on the front of the ship. So we came up the aft elevators and out the aft elevators, and then we went out a door, and I stood up because the building behind us, it was so neat. There was a pelican. I'd never seen this at Port Everglades, but there's a pelican, I think that's a pelican, up on this building. That's really neat. So we took a picture of the building, and then we took a picture of me standing in front of that, which was really neat, really neat. And then we went to try to scan our medallion because our room is in the aft, side-facing aft mini suite. And so we knew where our muster station would be. And everybody has to go to their muster station and have their medallion scanned, and then watch the safety video either in your stateroom TV. I have the TV sitting right here, that's why I'm looking that way, or on your phone. You can watch it on your phone, either way, and they'll know that you've watched it, you know, from wherever. And then you need, but whenever on board, you need to have your medallion scanned. You can see where your muster station is via your app, so know that, or you'll see it when you come to your stateroom. Look in the back of your door, and that'll tell you where your muster station is. I can tell you if you are in the aft of the ship, it will be whatever station is aft, down on 6 or 7 usually. So we knew where our muster station would be. So we had walked down 6, and we had our medallion scanned, and then we took the aft elevators up. So then after that, we did head on up here because the rooms were done right around 1 o'clock. And we came into our lovely little mini suite, and I'll show you some pictures. And then I eventually will do a intense tour of this mini suite. But this is D718, D718 on the port side. The reason we chose the port side was because of one reason, really. Well, 2 reasons. One is we like the mid-aft or aft, and the most smoking section is on deck 7 on the starboard side, and we don't like that waffling up to our balcony. And so we don't usually pick the starboard side aft. But also when you're going into Glacier Bay, the port side is the first side that pulls up to the show-stopping glacier of the day, Marjorie Glacier. And so you can see it coming in the distance, and then we pull up in front of it and sit there for 30 minutes, and then this captain pivots. So starboard side has the same, the same view, and then you start heading out of Glacier Bay. But anyway, that's the reason we choose port side. Port is usually our preferred side anyway. So we're on the port side, on the Dolphin deck D718, which is in the aft, side facing balcony. Mini suite with a balcony, And you can see it has a nice queen king size bed. It's really two twins put together, but the twins are a little bit more narrow than your regular twin. So it's between a queen and a king. We have a couch. We have 2 TVs. We have a nice, shelving unit there, and a lovely closet behind the wall there, and a bathroom with a tub and shower combination. It's very nice, and I'm showing you some pictures here as we go. Or I will show you some pictures here so you can see what it's like. And after that, we waited for our luggage to come, and it ended up not coming till a little bit later. We met our room steward. His name is Joseph. Oh my goodness, he is so experienced, and he is so good. And we told him, we said, well, you're stuck with us. You're stuck with us throughout, until we get through to the Alaska cruise. He went, that's wonderful. I love it when people stay more than one cruise. He's so sweet. I'm telling, and efficient. Is he ever efficient? And, he said, well, what can I get you, all the time? And I said, Chris actually said, the only thing that we really, really like is to have ice each day. And so he brings us an ice bucket of ice each day. And, other than that, I told him when we get to Alaska, I'm going to ask him for a couple of blankets from the movies Under the Stars, And, but other than that, he keeps our room spick and span. He comes in the morning, and makes the bed and vacuums and cleans the bathroom and leaves us new towels. And then in the evening time for turn down, he'll come in and has two curtains, has blackout curtains, and it has like a sheer curtain. He just, depending on the time or if it's light outside or whatever, he'll pull the curtains and turn down the bed and, you know, turn the lights down and make it feel nice and comfy cozy when we walk back in after dinner. So anyway, our luggage finally did come, and then we went to dinner at 5 o'clock. We are scheduled every day to have dinner every day in the Bordeaux dining room. There's only two main dining rooms on this ship, the Provence and the Bordeaux. And Chris had made our arrangements on the Bordeaux every night of the cruise, a two-person table for this portion of the cruise. And I'll explain that more, but I am going to tell you about our wait staff, Maliotti and I cannot pronounce his name still. Gustavus? Something like that. The sweetest two men on the planet. They've worked together for years and years and years, apparently. You talk about an efficient team, and the right hand always knows what the left hand is doing. It is those two. But they sat us at table 38, and let me tell you, when you line up on a princess ship, on pretty much any princess ship, those who have reservations line up on the right, those who don't line up on the left. And after the first night and they know you have your table set, they let you just go in, you know. Whereas the tables, or the left-hand side has to be, different tables are chosen each night for them. But if you ask, you can have the same table and the same wait staff throughout your cruise, so which is what we had done. I need a little drink. Hang on just a second. Before I go on further with our dinner, I want to let you know that Chris and I have chosen the Plus package, and I don't know everything that's in it. If I can find that information, I'll put it here. But it gives us gratuities. It pays our gratuities. It pays an unlimited drink package, which is, yes, alcohol, but we're not drinkers of alcohol. But also sodas and specialty coffee and hot chocolate and juices and all the bottled water you can drink, and hot tea and mocktails and anything you can drink. Anything you can drink on the ship is included. And then one, this is for each of us, and then one device for the Medallion Net Max, which is the best you can get. So that's why I'm able to video and why I'm able to put up videos. It takes a long time though. It took 8.5 hours to put my first video up and 6.5 for the second one. So I've already talked for 30 minutes, so I'm going to cut this off after I tell you what we had for dinner. Hopefully I can cut this down just a smidge, because I don't want it to be any more than 30 minutes or I won't be able to get it up, and it'll take all day to get it up. Princess Sail Away dinner. Here's the menu. And at table 38, I ended up having French onion soup. And I think I had beef tips. I think I had that. And Chris had fish of some sort. Salmon, I think. And then I had, what I have for dessert? Had ice cream. I had ice cream, 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream with caramel syrup for dessert. So, and then we came back to our room and finished unpacking and settled in and crashed. We crashed. And on we'll go through our itinerary. But for now, that kind of covers our travels, our hotel and embarkation day here on to the Coral Princess. So stick around with me. I'll be trying to put up videos as we go through the itinerary. And next time I'll tell you about the first couple days on board or something like that. I'm not sure. So we have not. Anyway, I'm going to stop this one for now because I'm going over 30 minutes and it's going to take forever for me to load this. So I do want to tell you that every day you're going to get something called the Princess Patter, and it is an hourly breakdown of everything that you need to know that's going on ship-wide. It introduces you to a crew member. And there you can see an hourly breakdown of everything, and it gives you extra information on this kind of little side flap. gives you extra information. And always you can find on the back what time the restaurants are open, what time the bars and casino and everything else is open, the shops on board. You could always find that on the back of your pattern. So this is a wealth of information. You'll get it every night. Your steward will bring it to you and leave it on your bed every night for the next day. So anyway, all right, I'm going to hush and I'm going to go into some final words real quick here and say thank you all so much for stopping in here today. I hope you're enjoying this series this way with me literally on the cruise ship doing these videos. I'm having a good time doing it. I have time to do it on this itinerary. I'm not sure I will have as much time on the next two, but we're going to try. But for those of you who might be struggling or suffering with a catastrophic illness or chronic pain, I hope that you have someone there with you, taking care of you, helping you get through each day, making the very, very best out of each day. I hope there's nothing weighing on your minds or your hearts, pulling your attention away from where you want it to be or from where it should be. I love y'all to bits, to bits, to bits. Hugs all around, and I keep you in my thoughts and my prayers every single day. And with all of that said, I'll just say, until next time, y'all take good care. Bye-bye.